Peace and love, good people. Salute, y'all. I just wanted to come by and speak a little bit about the fight that is taking place this evening, tonight, you guys. And of course, I'm speaking about the great king, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Yes, indeed, y'all. He's going to be making his return to the ring tonight. He will be facing Tyrell Herndon in Wichita, Kansas. Definitely excited for this king. I caught the weigh-in. Not sure if you guys caught that yesterday, but the champ is looking absolutely phenomenal, you guys. He weighed in at a solid 225 pounds. And real talk, he looks refreshed, he looks focused, he looks clear, and I love every bit of it. I cannot wait to see him show improve in the ring. It has been quite some time, and I definitely want to see him get in there and do what we know he can do. You know what I mean? I've also been keeping up with some interviews over the past week or so that he has been doing. And honestly, he seems to be in much clearer spirit. It was hard, of course, not to take heed to some of the things that he had divulged with us over the past, let's say, year or two, just things concerning his mindset overall. He had shared that he was, on a search for balance and inner alignment at a particular time, leading up to the card that he featured on in Riyadh back in December of 23. So it was nice to get a perspective now in the aftermath of that particular time. Right now that some time has passed, it's nice to see his point of view from a different juncture at this particular time. And he was very candid in these interviews that I came across about having to recertify his place, recertify his desires, and validate this newfound passion that he has found during his time off. And not only his passion, but in recertifying his purpose moving forward. He says that he is coming from a point of doing things more selfishly at this point in his life and in his career. He seems to have gotten rid of a lot of some maybe outside distractions that he was surrounded by for a prolonged period of time. Now that those are cleared away, he is able to focus on the objective at hand in both his personal life and, of course, now upon his making a return to the ring. Now, of course, it goes without saying that many within the boxing world, instantaneously assumed that after his last two performances against Zhilei Zhang and, of course, Joseph Parker, that pretty much this was the end and conclusion of the fiery warrior that we once knew, right? But no matter the criticism or the speculation, that much of the boxing world has been doing as it pertains to Wilder, I'm glad to, see that he has, staked his claim to a sport that he loves. He said he is not interested in giving up, not just yet. And he has a lot more that he wants to show and prove of himself to himself. And of course, to the people who have stood 10 toes beside him. You can never hate on a man, of that stature or of that level of determination. It just is what it is. He's got the fire. And so I'm meeting him with fire. You know what I mean? While many people were counting him out in the boxing world, after he lost those back-to-back defeats, he went back to the drawing board, essentially. And I came across some aspects of him sharing details that, in coming off of those defeats, he was able to actually evaluate and do some reconnaissance, to see what he really needed. So instead of looking at those defeats as, some form of dead end or impasse, he used the time to ruminate and see what was needed. And it was in this time that he actually finally went to go address some long-standing shoulder pain that he had been carrying for the past 3 or 4 years, he said. Pain that was caused on a daily and regular basis from this shoulder that needed to be surgically repaired. And in this time, he went to go take care of that finally, which is wonderful. And it said not only did it alleviate all of the pain that he had been dealing with, but that he was able to now utilize that shoulder in ways that he wasn't previously able to because of all the pain that it caused. So that's wonderful to hear that he got that fixed and addressed. And I'm hoping that he has 1000% full access to all of his range and mobility when he is in that ring tonight. You know what I mean? And what was also interesting, in all of the lead up to the fight, and also in me catching up on the interviews that he had done, was that I have not seen nor heard any sightings of Malik Scott, you guys. No sightings whatsoever of Malik Scott. And that made me go, do a little bit of research. And apparently, there have been reports that, he and Malik have split up. Split up. And I haven't seen him and I haven't heard him mention Malik Scott or anything like that. So if this is indeed the case, I cannot say that I'm mad at all. Real talk. I am not mad at all if this is the case, that he is no longer with Malik Scott. Because I have actually been calling for the removal of Mr. Malik Scott as his head trainer since the Parker fight. I wanted to see them disbanded at that particular point of that Parker fight because I was not impressed. I was no longer seeing a viable pathway towards success. I just wasn't seeing it anymore. To me, it seemed as if, Wilder's performances were actually in retrograde. Okay? His performance levels have regressed and no substantial changes were made for his betterment. That's what I was seeing under Malik Scott. I understand their brotherhood. They had a very close relationship with each other, but that did not translate into the ring. It did not translate into a triumphant union in the ring. Okay? It did not produce victory for Wilder. Friendship or not, it didn't translate in the ring. So, if there is a new trainer on deck, I'm hoping that it is someone who is, adamant, somebody who is serious about the details, because those little details count. Even the ones that we would consider or believe to be minute, they are not. They are significant, those types of details. So hopefully it's somebody who pays attention to that. Also somebody who doesn't play about the fundamentals and foundations and also the execution. Okay? All in all, we shall see what unfolds later this evening, you guys. I'm super excited. I'm definitely wishing the king well. And for this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and go predict Wilder getting the KO in the 4th round. You heard? That's it for me, y'all. Bomb Squad, 10 toes on deck. You already know what it is. I'm on to the next. Peace.